YouTube. So tonight was the finale, Have Some Have Nots, season 4, episode 23, Promises Kept. And I'm telling you, Catherine keeps all of her promises. But I will get to that. Okay, so tonight's episode was good, of course. It didn't leave me gasping for breath, but I'll take what it gave me. Okay, with that being said, let's just jump right in because there's a lot to go over. Okay, so starts off with Hannah. Hannah is still at Catherine's house. Doorbell rings. Hannah doesn't work there, but she's right there, so she decides to open the door. It is Mr. Bowman at the door, which of course is the banker. Happens to be the same banker that is now, giving Candace a hard time. Okay, so Catherine is very shocked to see him because she said, I just got off the phone with you. I thought, we were getting Wyatt's inheritance. What is going on? He says, yeah, there's a slight problem. We aren't able to get that. Apparently, Jennifer, the DA, she put a note on that account that if someone tried to access those funds, then the bank needed to contact her. Of course they did. And then she had a judge overrule that prior judge's approval to give the funds to Catherine. So Catherine is really upset at this point, and the banker is like, you know what, I'm so sorry. At this point, my hands are tied. There's really no strings I can pull. So Catherine's pretty upset about that, and she's like, you know what, don't trip. I'm going to take care of this by myself, okay? Thank you. So he leaves. Then Hannah comes downstairs. She knows Hannah is not going to live with her, so she knows Hannah's going to end up going home. So she says, okay, Hannah, before you leave, I have something to give you. She passes Hannah car keys. They are actually keys to Amanda's car. Hannah, of course, refuses to take them initially, and Catherine says, you know what, don't worry about it. Amanda's car, who's driving it? Nobody's driving it. It's just sitting in the garage anyway. You take it. I know that you need it. You need transportation. You have your grandson with you now. I mean, I have an extra car seat up in the attic too. It's probably like 25 years old, but you can have that if you need it. Girl, he is like a little grown man. He does not sit in a car seat. So, Hannah is grateful, but she's like, look, I'll bring Amanda's car back tomorrow morning. And so she says, no, you're not. And you're going to take this. Well, what she passed her was the title to the car. She said, Mrs. Cryer, I can't take this. She said, I knew you would say that. That is why I've already transferred the title over to you. It's in your name. You have no choice but to accept it. It's the least I can do for you. You've done so much for me. If you could just promise me one thing in return, though. So she says, what is that? She said, just promise me you'll come visit me. And she's like, girl, you acting like something gonna happen to you, like you're gonna die or something. What's going on? She said, just promise me you'll come visit me. And so Hannah's like, you know what, I ain't got time for this. I will be seeing you, Mrs. Cryer. Great. Okay, so then we have Jeffrey. So Jeffrey is at the hospital, spending time with Wyatt, waiting for Wyatt to wake up. And he is on the phone with Justin, the police officer. Now, mind you, Justin had given him a heads up that the police were about to come and raid Candace's house because they had a search warrant. Well, Justin keeps trying to get Jeffrey to tell him, what are they looking for? What are they going to find? I want to help you. I want to help you. Of course, Jeffrey is not sure that he can fully trust him, so he doesn't want to tell him. So he keeps trying to call Candace to let her know, hey, the police are at your house. Well, Candace isn't picking up the phone. He keeps calling. She's not picking up the phone. Then Justin says, look, the police are pulling up. At least tell me where to look so that I can try to help you. If there's something that we're going to find, at least let me be the one to find it. And so Jeffrey's like, okay, just look in the backyard by the garden. You need to be the one to find a pair of keys. You need to be the one to get them. Mind you, they are Jeffrey's keys to his car, I believe. So, yes, that's why it's very important for Justin to find that so that Jeffrey doesn't get busted. Okay, so next thing you know, we see Jeffrey and Melissa are on the phone. So once Jeffrey gets off the phone with Justin, Justin has his back. He gets on the phone with Melissa. Melissa's like, where are you? He said, none of your business. Why? She said, boy, I don't care where you are. Clearly your mom put me up to this. So then Veronica gets on the phone with Jeffrey. She said, Jeffrey, where are you? He said, I'm out. Of course, he couldn't say he was visiting Wyatt. So she says, okay, well, you need to get home now because the dinner party is tonight. He said, I'm out looking for a suit. She said, we have staff for that, Jeffrey. You need to get here. Excuse me, Melissa. And Melissa goes away. She says, Jeffrey, you need to get your behind here now. She went from like uppity to like, I'm going to go straight hood on you and I'm going to beat your tail in a minute. Like, that's how she like changed. And so Jeffrey's like, I told you I am busy right now and I will be there when I'm there. She said, well, you need to get here because the engagement party is tonight. You need to talk to her dad before the engagement party and ask for her hand in marriage. All of this has to happen tonight. And I'm like, Veronica, come on, let it go. So he's like, you know what? On second thought, don't trip. I'm not coming. Okay. Don't ask me to do anything else. I'm not marrying the girl. You know what? I know you've already called the DA on us anyway, so it's okay. You don't have anything else on me at this point. So she says, excuse me? He said, I know you did. What are you talking about, Jeffrey? He said, the police are at Candace's house right now. So I know that you've called them. She said, I really didn't know that. He said, oh, well, now you know, and now you have nothing to hold over my head. So no, I'm not doing what you want me to do. So she says, well, if you were smart, you would do what I want you to do because I'm the only one that can get you out of this situation. He's like, whatever. I'm not doing it. Okay, so Jeffrey is toughening up. He figures, hey, I'm going to jail anyway. Let me just spend some time with my boo in peace. These might be our last moments together before I go to jail for a minute. So let it go. Okay, so next thing you know, we have Benny and Candace. So they walk into the tow yard. Candace is trying to talk to Benny. Benny is still hurt to find out all of this information about Candace and how she's been lying to him. So Benny is not speaking to her. She says, look, I'm going to get the money. I promise you. He still has nothing to say to her. Okay, so while she's in there talking to him, Candace's phone rings. It's Jeffrey. She picks up. She says, Jeffrey, I can't talk right now. I'm turning off my phone. And then she hangs up. She probably should have answered that call, but whatever. So then she leaves out to go and get this money from Oscar because, you know, she's been following him. Okay, so next thing you know, we have David and Erica. So remember, David said he was going to pick up Erica from work. And so he picks her up and he said, so am I taking you back to the hotel? She said, oh, no. He said, okay, so where am I taking you? Well, she's hungry, so she wants to go to this soul food spot around town. And he says, oh, okay, great. He says, by the way, what is your name? She says, my name's Erica. And he says, Erica, okay, nice to meet you. My name's David, as you already know. So they're reintroducing themselves. And I'm thinking, Erica, is that your real name? Like, you really gave him your real name. But then if you think about it, Candace was an escort for Jim Cryer, and she gave him her real name. So, hey, maybe Oscar is the only one around here walking around with 3-4 different names. Anywho, so they decide to go for soul food. Of course, they're talking in the car on the way there. They get there. They're laughing. They're flirting. You can tell that he really likes her. At this point, Oscar hasn't had a chance to get to really do any research on Erica because, like, he didn't have any information about her. So, of course, David is trying to ask Erica, you know, how old are you? Like, she was like, that is very rude to ask a woman her age. But then she ends up saying that she's 28. And I'm wondering, is that information true? I mean, she looks like she would be 28, but why are you giving him real information about yourself? Whatever the case, they're having a great time at the soul food restaurant. He loves the food. Next thing you know, she decides, because he said, you're very mature for your age. And so she says, well, you just haven't seen the kid in me. Watch this. So she goes to like the jukebox and she puts the quarter in and some old school song comes on and it is just like his song from back in the day. So he is excited about it. And she says, do you want to dance? He said, Like, you want to dance? It's the middle of the day. She said, yeah, there was not a specific time to dance. So she's spontaneous. She's young. She's attractive. She's really reeling him in. And he's like, even before they went into the restaurant, he went to open up the car door for her. They walked to the restaurant. It was just, she's really reeling him in. And she even said it herself, I got him. Okay, so next thing you know, they're dancing and all. And she says, do you kiss on the first date? And he says, excuse me? Oh, I didn't know this was a date. And she said, well, it seems like one to me. Now, where he kept messing up, he kept saying, because she said, have you eaten soul food before? He said, well, my wife. She said, no. That's not how you date somebody, talking about your ex. So he made that mistake then. And then at least 2 more times on their date, he also said, well, my wife. So Erica mentions, well, you mention her a lot. You're clearly not over her. He said, no, I really loved her, and I still love her. Stupid. Even though she tried to kill you. But he said, I still love her, but at this point, it's just over. And so she says, I understand. And that's when she said, do you kiss on the first date? He said, well, I don't know. I haven't been on a first date in so long. And she says, so you definitely probably don't hook up on the first date or have sex on the first date. He says, excuse me? She said, hey, you want to get out of here? He was like, well, let's go. So they disappear. That's that. So we can assume that they've gotten down with the get down. Okay, so next thing you know, Jeffrey is in the hospital and he's talking to Wyatt. Before it's time to leave, Jeffrey doesn't know what his fate holds at this point. So Jeffrey is pouring out his heart to Wyatt. I'm assuming that Wyatt can hear him. He just can't respond. Like maybe he's in a coma. So Jeffrey is saying, look, I just wanted you to know that I love you. I have always loved you. I really want you to pull through with this. Now, once you pull through, I may not be around. I may be somewhere else, also known as jail. But he didn't tell Wyatt that part. But in the case that I'm not around, I want to apologize for what my mother did to you when she had that rapist come into your jail cell and violate you like that. And he's like crying when he's saying this, not knowing that Catherine had just walked into the room behind him. She said, what did you say, Jeffrey? He said, oh, excuse me, ma'am, what? I'm sorry. And then she said, no, Jeffrey, you better tell me what you said. What did your mother do? And he said, yeah, she hired somebody to go in there and violate him. Catherine said, okay, I got his number. Okay, I got your number. So she leaves. She goes directly to the jail. Jim is like, whoa, you're here 2 times in one day. What is that about? She said, no, you need to tell me what happened to Jeffrey. And I'm not Jeffrey. What happened to Wyatt when he was in jail? He said, what are you talking about? She said, what happened? Was he violated? Was he raped? And he said, I had the situation under control and somebody another inmate got into the cell some type of way. She said, how? Who put the inmate in there? He said, I don't know. She said, why are you protecting her? He said, protecting who? She said, Veronica. He said, whoa, how do you even know all this stuff? She said, because I know. Now tell me, why are you protecting her? Why wouldn't you tell me that? He said, because I'm handling it. I have it under control. She said, no, I will handle it. He said, no, let me handle it my way. You don't know how to handle things. You leave a big mess. She said, no, you guys hire people to do your dirty work. I'll get it done myself. And then so he says, Catherine, please just think about this. I didn't tell you because I'm not trying to save her. I'm trying to save you. She says, you know what? I'm good. So she leaves. She goes out into the hallway. She calls Veronica on her phone. She says, Veronica, I need you. I need you to get the DA to my house. We need to speak. And then so Veronica says, well, she's not going to speak to you regarding the case. She said, no, it's not about the case. It's about Wyatt and his inheritance. I need you to get her there. Can you not do that? And she said, well, you know I'm one of the best attorneys around. Of course I can do that. So she says, okay, I will see you guys there in an hour. Make it happen. Well, Veronica says, well, I have a dinner party tonight because Jeffrey's getting engaged to Melissa. Catherine is like, I will see you in an hour. Okay? This is important. I can't have anybody else but you. You are the best. Okay, so Veronica gets on the phone, calls Jennifer the DA, convinces her to at least talk it out with Catherine because Catherine is a hurting mother right now, and at least maybe they can talk about lessening some of the funds that he has access to, that Wyatt has access to. Okay, so next thing you know, Veronica is going to be on her way to Catherine's house. On the way there, she stops in the hood. She makes a quick pit stop, gets out the car, sees Quita, a.k.a. Quincy's sister, which Quincy's sister was at the house watching, at Candace's house, watching while the house was being raided because, remember, she wouldn't snitch to the police that something was going on. So Veronica is upset about this. She goes up to Quita and slaps the mess out of her in front of everybody out in public. And Quita says, whoa, 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 whoa. And so Veronica says, look, what did you do? Why did you say something? I had a plan. I told you I had it under control. And she said, no, but I was just worried about my brother, and I know they killed my brother. They did something to my brother. I ain't seen him. I've been looking for him. She said, didn't I tell you I had it under control? Okay? If you mess up my plan, you better go hide into a ditch that's something like deeper than where you live at this current time. So Quita is shook, okay? She doesn't want to mess up her street cred, so she's, when Veronica walks away, she looks at the other guys like, what y'all looking at? Girl, you just got punked in front of everybody. But whatever. So Veronica pulls off in her car service on her way to Catherine's house. Meanwhile, we see Benny and Mitch. So Benny is in the tow yard. He's at the tow yard. Mitch comes in. He says, look, Benny, you need to be helping me. I feel like you ain't picking up no work on these tows. I'm doing it all by myself. Benny says, did you put drugs in Ward's car? Mitch says, why would I do something like that? Why would you say that? So then he says, okay, yeah, I figured you wouldn't because you don't even have those type of connections and resources anyway. I knew Candace was lying. She's always lying. She's made up all kinds of stuff talking about Ward violated her. He's going to try to kill me. All this stuff that you planted drugs in the car. She's just always lying. And then Mitch says, no, bro, it's true. I saw it with my own eyes. He was taking advantage of your sister right there on the gate in front of the tow yard. And he did have a plan to snip you out right there. And I couldn't let that happen. You're my business partner. So he said, you expect me to believe that. So you don't even have any type of connections to even be connected to the narcs. So he said, no, actually I do. I've kind of been lying to you guys about who I am. I wanted to live a straight and narrow, life, but I am a Malone. He said, what's a Malone? So he shows him this picture on his phone, and that's how Benny puts two and two together. Oh, your dad is a Malone? You're connected to the freaking mob? Oh my gosh, I'm in business with the mob. And he says, no, you're not. I'm not a part of all that, but it does have some good to it. I kind of just got them to back off and turn on our phones again. I planted the stuff in Ward's car because I had to protect you and Candace. So then Benny says, you know what? I'm going to kill him. I'm going to have to kill Ward now. He said, no, don't do that. We're good. He's in jail for a while. Okay, well, he says, well, look. Benny says, look, I need to be honest with you. Hey, Candace, I'm really upset. She put she mortgaged the tow yard and my house, and we have to pay the bank $2 million by 5 o'clock tomorrow, or else I'm losing it all and everything that comes with it. So they got real sad. So Mitch is like, well, technically my family is basically like the mob, so we could get the money from them, but then we have to pay them back. They don't care if, it's family, friend, whatever. They don't play about that money, and they want it back. And if you don't give it back, then you're done. So they decide, nah, I'm good on that. We can just start over from scratch. It was good while it lasted. If we lose everything, oh well, let's just pop bottles and toast to what we've accomplished thus far. So that is what they do. Okay, so then we all of a sudden see Oscar at the campaign office. It's empty because, of course, the campaign is over, and he thinks he hears like a noise. So he's looking around to see if anybody's in there because he's real nervous. He knows someone's been following him. He opens the door, and all of a sudden, bam, with the crowbar, here is Candace, and she starts beating the mess out of him, talking about, where is my money? And literally, the camera just like pans away, and we see the outside of the campaign office, and we hear him screaming, and Candace yelling at him, beating him seemingly to death if you're beating somebody with a crowbar. Okay, so that will be carried over into next season, and we'll see what happens with that. Okay, and then we have Hannah, and we have Benny, and we have little Quincy at Benny's house. So Hannah sends little Quincy upstairs because she can tell that Benny looks sad. She says, Benny, what's wrong? Benny starts breaking down, crying, telling her basically, like, dang, I should have believed you about Candace. She's mortgaged my tow yard, and she mortgaged my house. They're going to take it all by 5 o'clock tomorrow. I don't know what to do. I'm so hurt. He can't even get the words out. So Hannah is like, you're going to listen to me one day. There's really nothing we can do. We can just eat dinner tonight, and what happens, happens. And, it is what it is. And then all of a sudden she breaks out into this like old Negro spiritual, and I'm like, what in the world? Okay, I thought we were done with this. Like, she used to always break out into these old Negro spirituals first season, and I freaking hated it. I wanted to fast forward so bad, but I didn't want to miss anything important. But she was a horrible singer. I'm going to just be honest. Like, she sounded a mess. Like, I'm looking at the TV like, are y'all serious? Y'all approve this? Whatever. So now let's get to the meat and mashed potatoes and gravy and bread and biscuits and rolls and cornbread of the episode. The main part, Veronica, Catherine, and Jennifer the DA. So this is the ending scene, like the cherry on top. Catherine is in there with Veronica and Jennifer. Catherine is very serious. She is speaking as if she is the godfather, and she says, Jennifer, now, my son does not need access to all of that money. That access will lead him to his death. He almost died this time. So I'm going to need you to talk to whoever you need to talk to and restrict that access from him and give that to us because he doesn't need that. We don't want it for spending purposes. We want it to keep it away from him to save his life. And then so she says, nope, I can't do that, Jennifer. And Catherine says, I'm asking you nicely, please. Like, can you at least lessen the funds that he's able to get a hold of? She said, I don't really know. I'll talk to Wyatt when he's able to talk. Catherine says, you think I'm stupid? He's not going to say, yeah, give me less money. And she says, well, I'll talk to him. Sorry, my hands are tied. I'm like, Jennifer, you are so freaking heartless. And so Catherine says, really? Did Jim break your heart that bad for you to be acting like this? And she says, then what's her face? Jennifer says, broke my heart. Girl, I ain't ever slept with him. Like, that is funny. That's laughable. And I'm thinking, well, why do you have such an issue with him? Whatever. And then Veronica butts in and says, oh, but you would like to sleep with David. And then she says, oh, honey, David can stretch me from here to there. I'm like, girl, that is so unprofessional. And so then all of a sudden, Catherine says, look, we're getting off subject. So you're not going to help me, right? She said, sorry, my hands are tied. Okay, so then Catherine turns to Veronica. She says, Veronica, you probably don't even realize why you're here. There are 2 reasons why you're here. Reason number 1, I know that you put a rapist in the cell with my son and allowed him to be violated. You set that up on purpose. She said, Catherine, I would never. She said, don't lie to me, okay? I don't have time for it. Like, I don't, okay? Today is not the day, okay? I know that that is what you did, and I am furious about it. But the number 1 reason you are here is because you are the greatest attorney I know. You have gotten people off that were just horrible people, but you're a great attorney, so I'm going to need that. And I'm going to have you be my attorney because I trust you, because you fear nothing and you fear no one. But today, you're going to learn fear. You're going to learn who to fear and how to fear, okay? And that leads me to my second reason. The second reason why you're here is you're going to witness the fury that runs through my cold veins. You're going to witness it in person, and then you'll know who's in charge. Now, Jennifer, let me ask you one more time. Are you going to help me save my son? Jennifer said, there's nothing I can do. I'm sorry, my hands are tied. I'll talk to Wyatt once he's able to talk. She says, okay. So are you sure about that answer? I said, girl, Catherine's so calm. She about to snap. You should have just helped her. She says, no, sorry, I can't help you. Okay. So that's exactly how Catherine reacts. She has a pillow next to her. She reaches under the pillow, has a gun, stands straight up in front of Jennifer, points it at her, and pulls the trigger with no hesitation. A good 5 times until Jennifer flew backwards, blood everywhere. There's really no chance of her surviving. She's dead. Then Veronica is like stunned, like her eyes are big. She jumps back. She's like, oh my gosh. And then she turns to Veronica. She said, now your job as the greatest attorney I know is to get me off. Excuse me. Then she walks right past the body, like it ain't a bloody body on her floor, and walks upstairs for Veronica to clean up the mess. It's a great episode, y'all. Like, this is so many cliffhangers. I'm so excited. I wish that it would come back on before the end of the year, but knowing Tyler Perry, it's not going to come back on until January. Tyler, call me because I got ideas, okay? Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe, and check me out at mrsblogaholic.com.